Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster with the next part being part 7 of What If Deku was the son of SCP-076 Abel. Now then, I appreciate your patience with this stuff. It has been going. And I have been working out some things with the storyline and such for this, so I do hope you will enjoy it. So, yeah. But before any of that, I do appreciate your understanding, and I am glad you guys have been enjoying my videos. So, with all that said, hit it. Okay, now then, with Izuku back at his house after the internship, he does have a little bit of time at home to relax after all that. Officially endeavors getting the credit for it, since it would save a lot of hassle for them. And Izuku's just fine. He doesn't really care. But Jack Bright did ask Izuku to enter into his office for a minute at their home to talk to him. After he got in, closed the door and sat down, Bright gave him a pretty serious look, which is surprising considering this is his quite literally insane Uncle Bright. Only time he got serious is when it was something that was probably not good. As Bright leaned back in his chair, thinking about how to describe this, and just went on, stating, okay, you know how you have I told you about your cousin, right? Your biological one? Izuku nodded yes. Okay, it appears someone who isn't able to move themselves across dimensions right now, but is able to influence other beings like us, is capable of altering them and sending them somewhere else. They actually already sent them over your cousin. We don't know how many or which ones yet. Whatever he did end up cloaking them, so not even Pluto can find them. It is annoying. Izuku had to ask, wait, what? So, trying to remember, he states Asta, right? My cousin in the other dimension? Someone's sending SCPs after him? Why? Bright looked nervous, stating it might not just him. Realization dawning on him that whoever this is most likely sending ones after him as well. Oh, you gotta be kidding me! What? I got a target on my back? Right? Stated, yeah. As for who it is, you've already heard about the Scarlet King. Izuku flinching at that name. The only name that he knows for certain is something he doesn't want to get anywhere near. Deku asks the obvious. Why? Why does he want us? Right, told him flat out. With the Apotheos back home, it's actually causing a shift that's blocking him from leaving his imprisoned dimension. There's only one way out, and it's being blocked by the energy flow of the apotheose spreading throughout the world. Already all over the place, and it's not really. It's still chaotic. Some of our family members are still there, but it seems as though we might be able to send them to your cousins for a more suitable housing, considering. Izuku calms down a little bit, trying to think. Okay, but why us? Bright continued. Well, you and him are technically have heritage both from the dimension he's trying to enter, while at the same time having heritage from two separate dimensions, meaning 3 in total. He doesn't actually have to kill you to kill you. All you have to do is eat you, and you just become part of him. Gain your abilities and his. And that be that. Because of your uniqueness, it would allow him to get past interference from the apotheosis, allow him to go wherever he wants in the universe. As Bright is just rubbing his forehead, really frustrated at this. Takes a deep breath in and states, I already informed UA. They stated that they'll be doing some programs, some changes to the hero course to prepare them. Yes, that they know what they're getting themselves into, rather than leave them blind. This is going to be complicated. And he just remembered as he spoke, oh crap, I gotta tell Momo. Bright clapping his hands as he stood up, stating, well, good luck with that. I got some paperwork to fill out and some arrangements to make. As Izuku just sighs, stating, oh, this is gonna get a lot worse before. As the next day of UA starts and everybody's in class talking about their internships, as Ida and Izuku are mentioned about the whole thing with the host staying the killer, as well as Todoroki, since he was in the same town with Endeavor and all that, and yada yada. But ultimately, they do keep the secret that it was Endeavor and not Izuku that took him down. Though, to be fair, there are 2 individuals besides Ida and Todoroki that had already figured that what the news is saying isn't true. That being Bakugo and Momo. They know Izuku enough to know that he'd probably take him down if he ran into him without doubt in either of their minds. But they ain't saying anything about it. It probably means that they were told not to. Understandable, since they don't have licenses. So they were escorted to their classes and such, with the hero class being in a industrial area of one of their testing grounds for the hero course, as they were divvied up into different groupings. This being the race that they would have to do. They would have to minimize damage to the area while also getting to All Might as fast as possible. Once the bells sounded, everyone went off, but Izuku yanked out 2 chains for each hand with a hook on the ends of each of them, as he lunged them forward, hooking onto some of the structures. As he charged up one for all at the more low end of the percentage that he was able to get a good grasp of, thanks to Gran Torino, helping them learn how to reel the power back a good bit to lessen damage. That he pretty much just slingshots himself. He does go quite the distance, passing Zero very quickly. Quicker than in canon, in fact, as he begins to feel the pull of gravity pulling him down. He uses his enhanced strength, agility, and such to move around faster and more precise than in canon. Due to his former combat experience with his training with his family, as well as his already heightened abilities, furthermore with One for All, he is going around this pretty easily, making sure not to slip, as he does make it first. Being congratulated, they continue with the others. Bakugo scoffing. Never seen you so nimble in your movements, or with Izuku smirking, stating, well, I had to learn some new tricks while I was at the internship, now didn't I? Bakugo just scoffs. Has Momo congratulated him? Izuku looking at her, kind of serious, stating that they need to talk. He was wondering what was on his mind, considering the look gave it away on his face, and agreed, as he kept quiet for now. After getting changed and on their way to lunch, before they got to the lunch area, Izuku filled in Momo about what was going on. Momo clenched her jacket, her uniform, saying, "Oh, something's trying to break free, but it needs you, the actual biological cousin of yours, in order to do it. And they're gonna eat you in order to do so." Momo visibly looking worried and nervous about it, wondering what kind of horrible thing would be capable of that. Izuku spares her some of the details about what it is, considering if they can avoid getting caught, it wouldn't even matter either way. But he also mentioned that there were SCPs probably working for him, and that the enemies his cousin is facing is working with them. Probably means that Momo stated it out loud. Probably means that the League is working with some that are here as well. Izuku looking up at her as he kneels down a bit, stating, "Be okay?" He smirks, stating, "Of course. The way I'm letting him catch me." As he smiles, stating, "Good. That's what I want to hear. Because I won't forgive you if you do get caught." Pulling his cheeks a bit, as he just kind of laughs. After that, they head over to the lunch area, get their food, and sit down with their classmates as they talk about the finals that are coming up. As Monoma was going up to Izuku, who was on the end of the table, about to elbow him, Izuku can sense the hostility, quickly pulls out a blade and points it towards where behind him where Monoma is. As he states, "Think about doing that again, and let's just say you'll be missing something." As he lets go of the blade, allowing it to disappear. With Monoma just shouting out, "Oh, whatever. Class 1B is still gonna come out on top above Class 1A. Nothing's gonna change that." As Hendo quickly chops him, apologizing for the craziness which is him. As he tells them about what he heard about an upper class mate being that they said something about going up against robots in their first year. With that, Monoma yelled at her about giving away their secrets, only to get dropped again and dragged away. Izuku stating, "That guy is not well in the head, is he?" Bakugo stating, "That could be said for your uncle as well." Izuku's just remarking, "Yeah, but at least he's fun about it." Bakugo shrugging, stating, "Point taken." As his classmates sigh in relief that they just have to deal with robots. Izuku pretty much stomping this out, stating, but not telling them about the whole SCP threat that they have. That it probably won't be that simple. Vendetta stating, "What are you talking about? She just said, yeah, and did you forget this is the first time that a organized villain group actively broke into UA, got information including our schedule, and a large group breaking into the USJ, cutting off all communications, and even had a plan to kill All Might. Did you forget about that? Obviously, they can't stick to the normal routine of training their Hero Corps students if they want us to be better prepared." This being heard by all of Class 1A, they do understand that now that he mentions it. It wouldn't actually be a smart move not to hike up the expectation of the exam with what's already happened. As we do move on to the meeting with the teachers, though Bright is actually in this one. As they're going over the students and such, Bright states, "Well, you can only think of two groups that you've lined up to have some of our family be a part of in this testing to help. Mostly because of abilities as well as them being better suited to handle this. Mention they're more used to this stuff, or at least one or two members of these groups are more used to this. So it's the best I can do for now. Plus, we don't have many of our family members that may work out as well, considering what they could do would probably just overwhelm the other students too much. As long as these two groups are clever enough, work well, it should be just fine." As it's all agreed, and Bright is finished with his business. And now we get to the part of the UA finals for the first years. As everyone is told that they will be facing the teachers in battle simulations in the combat areas that they have at UA. They're explaining the rules as well as the handicap that the heroes will be under with the weight on their arms and legs. And all the teams are divvied up. However, after all that is done, we then see Bright show up as he has a clipboard stating, "Now then, I have been invited here for this on Principal Nezu's request. There will be two groups in this test that will receive somewhat of a bonus task, as well as an opponent. For now, that will be kept in the dark, as well as the manner for those two tests, due to the fact that they will be ran differently. So do keep that in mind and prepare to be more flexible. The reason why these tests are different from the others are due to a number of factors. Once the tests are over, those who will pass will be going to the summer camp, and all students will be given some proper training for the similar situations, or at least as close as possible. As they were told that if they did fail, those who failed would end up not going to summer camp. As the teams were divvied up and everybody was getting ready. This time, Momo is more confident than in canon due to her training sessions with Izuku, which has boosted her confidence in combat especially. As she talks to Todoroki beforehand, but before the test starts, about a strategy. As she does make some equipment beforehand before the test starts, stating that it would be best considering that they know who their opponent is and what he can do. So they should take advantage of that knowledge when they can. With Todoroki stating, "Isn't that cheating for the test?" Momo states, "Not really. You know that you're going into a serious battle. It's only natural to make preparations. Learned that pretty quickly when it came to Izuku, whenever we did train. And trust me, he's not the easiest person to go up against for training. Not once have I ever gotten a hit on him." Todoroki stating, "I would kind of expect that." As he just laughs. Once the test started, they went in. He did make the Russian nesting dolls again as they were running through the area. This time she was vastly more focused, and Todoroki was serious about winning. So once the Russian nesting dolls just stopped, they knew Aizawa was nearby and quickly spotted him. As he stated, not a bad strategy for telling when I was coming. But is that all you have?" As he lunges the scarf out, they dodge, avoiding getting captured. As Todoroki, once he got behind an area where there was a wall covering him, produced flames and tried to control them enough to shoot kind of like a bank shot, if you may, shoot from the cover area he had onto the nearby concrete wall in order to get the flames underneath Aizawa. This obviously causing Aizawa to get out of there since he didn't feel like hovering over flames. This was actually planned, as now Aizawa is up in the air, where he sees a nesting doll in front of him, swiping at it, revealing a flashbang. With that, his ears and eyes are pretty messed up, and he is stunned. Though it didn't stop there. Once Aizawa landed on the ground, 3 more flashbangs just rolled near his feet. 2 from Todoroki and 1 from Momo. As these also messed with his vision and hearing. But with 3 of them, he's very unstable right now and quite wobbly. Taking the advantage of him not being able to hear or see for the moment, he hurries up and encases Aizawa in ice, partially. Once that happens, Aizawa has some time to actually adjust his eyes to see properly, only to have Momo clamp the handcuffs onto him. Aizawa smirked, stating, huh, they figured that this would happen. You have quite the training for combat. Momo just stated, I learned how to adapt. Since I knew what you could do, me and Todoroki planned our goals whenever we were getting ready for the test. So, wasn't that hard to know that if we already had something I made on hand, your quirk wouldn't be able to do anything against it. As Aizawa smirked, stating, though you made flashbang in order to mess with my vision, canceling out my quirk's erasing ability on you. As he smirks, being thought out, though Todoroki noticed that the bell didn't ring, Aizawa just chuckling a bit, stating, oh, this was only phase 1. As an announcement is heard that states phase 1 of test of Momo Yaoyorozu and Soto Todoroki has now been completed. Now beginning phase 2. As they hear a rumbling and wind blowing, they look up trying to figure out what's going on. They just see a very large, winged, green, red-eyed, octopus head individual in the sky. Momo straight up yelling, run! As Todoroki just blitzed right after her, catching up, stating, do you have a plan for that? Momo stating, no, I do not. I don't even think we can hurt him. Todoroki then stating, so what's the plan? Go for the goal? Best bet. As she begins her best creating something, she tells Todoroki to hurry up and create a wall of ice. It won't hold him or stop him for long, but at least buy them a little bit of time. As he did so, creating a large ice wall that did snag Cthulhu's arms a bit, though this wasn't stopping him for long. Momo, however, was making multiple remote grenade-looking things, scattering them everywhere that they ran, even having Todoroki throw some as far as he could. After getting his hands free, he flew over the wall, seeing Momo and Todoroki. This being where Momo pulled out a large belt with some type of device that was connected to a wire. The wires were tied to pins on multiple grenade-looking things. He tossed that aside, made a controller button, pressed it, causing all the grenades to be revealed as smoke grenades, enveloping a large portion of the area around them in smoke. Cthulhu couldn't tell where they were visually, though that wasn't going to stop him for long. He saw some movement and decided to go for it, blasting the smoke away with a gust of his wings, only turning out to be mannequins on wheels and covered with some cloth. This being where the bell rang that they escaped. Cthulhu just chuckled as he states, well, I got my job out of the way. Now Bright owes me some new consoles as well as play a game, which is what the payment was for Cthulhu from Bright in exchange for doing this. Back with Todoroki and Momo, they are hyperventilating, breathing very heavily from panic and worry, to the point that Todoroki had to sit down. He did not expect to be chased down by Cthulhu during a test for hero school. He prayed that he would never have to do it again, as his worldview has been in question for some time, ever since learning about Izuku's family, and how this is just putting more, digging the hole deeper for him, as he just got chased by what he perceives as some ancient Lovecraftian god that apparently is a video game addict. As he sits up stating, "When did life get this complicated?" Momo just stating, "I think it was always complicated. You just recently learned about it." Todoroki just sighing. The rest of the test continued like normal, as we now get to Izuku and Bakugo's test being the last one. Bakugo knowing that no other tests were altered, but they did see Momo's match. Izuku did congratulate Momo and Todoroki, as Todoroki just states, "I don't want to see that family member of yours for a while, if you don't mind." Izuku stating, "That's perfectly understandable," as he just went to lie down for a minute for him to process what just happened. As Momo hugged him and gave him a peck on the cheek, stating, Thanks for training me. Good luck." Deku smirking, saying, "No problem." As him and Bakugo head out, Bakugo states they said 2 of the tests would be different. Icy Hots and Ponytail was the only ones that was different so far. Last one. Yeah, I know. Bakugo asked the obvious question, "Which one do you think we're getting?" Izuku thinking, "I'm not sure. Let's just hope it isn't one of my family members that has a reality warping or anything that could, I don't know, cause destruction of matter." Since Bakugo was not even going to ask, because he knew some of the details, not all of them, but the ones he did knew kind of freaked him out. Understandably so. As they were entering with the test beginning, right off the bat, All Might blew the wind right at them, as he introduced himself, stating, "Are you ready, heroes?" As something else came down from up above, slamming onto the ground, stating, "Yes, are you ready?" Revealing a gorilla body with a robotic head that has a human skull inside of it. Izuku grabbing Bakugo and yanking him away, running down the alley, stating, "Nope, nope, 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 nope. Not dealing with them at the same time." With Bakugo stating, "What? Isn't he one of the more harmless ones? Not if he's asked to do this kind of stuff. He literally can turn into whatever he wants. Relative Mass means literally nothing to him. Bakugo, not understanding what that means, states, "The hell are you talking about? He can get as big, as heavy as he wants, and as small as and light as he wants. He's a shapeshifter who can turn into anything he wants. He's learned how to be pretty creative, I'm told, and his favorite thing to turn into are horror movie nightmares." Bakugo now realizing the level of mess that they are in. But Izuku has somewhat of a plan. He states, "I'll take Spook, you take All Might." As he reminds him about some upgrades Bright did put in to his gauntlet, one being a spray function for the sweat stored up in his gauntlets. Bakugo then begins to release himself from Izuku's grasp and begins to fly. All Might was going the long ways around to cut him off, while, Spook ended up morphing himself into what could be best described as a gigantic armored centipede with a circular forward mouth that has numerous rows of spinning, rotating, sharp teeth that are now crawling up on the roofs. As Izuku and Bakugo can see this, as the plan that they came up with on the run is now settled on, and they split apart. Izuku going straight for Spook, while Bakugo is going directly for All Might. As Bright has something on standby with some equipment just in case. This being where Izuku heads forward towards Spook, who apparently produces some type of worm attachment, also with sharp, rotating rows of teeth at the ends of them that go to clamp down onto Izuku. As his classmates flinch at this, they then see that Izuku's completely covered by the black stone part or transformation stage that he can do, freezing them as the worm appendages with the teeth that tried to chomp him become more or less frostbitten, causing severe pain and Spook. He can still feel the pain as Izuku charges up one for all, blitzing straight upwards towards his midsection, throwing a punch. Though, in this state, the cold coming off of him is so intense around him that right before his fist makes contact onto the armor plating of his centipede body, the coldness of the area around his body causes the armored cell to freeze before impact, making it brittle. As the punch cracks it open, causing immense pain and a good bit of painful frostbite. As he pounces away and punches it again and again, causing multiple areas of frostbite and damage. As he is forced to return to his Roman form, though the parts that are frostbitten are having trouble turning back since they're frozen solid. They move right now in this state. Izuku decides to leave him be and go check on Bakugo, as you can't really put handcuffs on a shapeshifter. And part of this seems to be, to handcuff them both. Since they were both given handcuffs, they had to make a decision. And with Spook out of commission for the time being, Izuku saw fit to help with All Might right now. As Bakugo and All Might were fighting, Bakugo unleashed a large amount of explosions. Didn't really slow down All Might that much, though he did wince a bit as him with All Might grabbing Bakugo by his face. He decided to use the add-on that Dr. Bright put into his gauntlet, spraying out the nitroglycerin sweat that was stored into gauntlets onto All Might's adamant section. Looking down, he wondered, what was that? As the nitroglycerin began to seep into his costume, as well, if you remember from the beginning parts of this What If, All Might's damaged skin from his injury, as well as multiple vital organs, they were replaced with cloth and fluff by the Patchwork Bear. So imagine that somewhat drenched in nitroglycerin, considering that even though it has the same functions, it's still fluff and fabric. One explosion later, All Might's adamant is literally on fire, causing severe pain as he goes to put it out. While in the midst of this pain and putting it out, his flaming skin and partially burning, or well, overheating fabric organs. This is where Izuku quickly comes in, goes for a 100% smash onto All Might, sending him into the ground. Bakugo taking this opportunity to blitz towards All Might, handcuffing. As Izuku puts back on his black stone form to cool off the area around them to undo the fire on him. As they begin to run towards the goal, Bakugo asked, "What about Spook? Didn't you handcuff him?" Izuku stating, "You try handcuffing a shapeshifter, see how that goes. He has frostbite, so part of him is having trouble turning back to normal right now, but we gotta get to the goal." Bakugo just says, "Fine, let's hurry," as they blitz for it. Spook, still having quite a bit of frostbite, finds All Might, who does get himself out of the street he was embedded into pretty easily. With Spook stating, "They didn't do half bad, did they?" All Might smirks, stating, "Yeah, not bad at all." As they did get through the exit. So, for these special tests, they did make their objective. For one, they both did well with capturing the hero, as well as getting away from something that they couldn't actually properly capture in this instance. So, better to pick your battles. This was the moral that they were teaching, mostly to these two teams, due to Momo and Bakugo's experience with Izuku's family being more than the rest, and considering that their quirks and skill levels with their quirks also has a factor, deeming them about at that level to be ready for it. With all that taken care of, Aizawa announced that although they said that if any of them failed, that they wouldn't be going to the camp, in truth, they would all be going to the camp. However, any of them who failed the test would end up needing to have remedial extra class courses and such during camp. So, bonus work for them, causing the ones who did not do so well in the hero final exam. Yeah. As Dr. Bright came up stating, yes, and you will all actually be camping at my complex. This being Izuku's home that does have quite a large bit of land, including a huge forest in it, or as a part of it at least. Stating, whoa, seriously? Why? Aizawa, they already knew about all the SCP stuff, so Aizawa told them. It's come to our notice that some outside intervention has possibly brought some beings like Midoriya's family here and is working with the League of Villains. That's what we've come to find. Due to this, you will not only be training with heroes from UA, some that we will recruit for this. You will also be training with the family members, and especially the heroes that are a part of Midoriya's family, as they all remember their last visit to there. Mineta is praying for when he gets to heaven to have a harem, only to be tongue slapped by Sue. As the rest are nervous, but are also looking forward to learning all kinds of stuff and getting a whole lot better. With that, we switch over to All Might, who's getting his fabric and fluff patched up. The organs luckily weren't damaged. However, the fabric skin was, which the patchwork bear was fixing real quick. With the staff of UA looking at this, stating, I have no words from Aizawa, as he continued, I can't understand this. We were told about you having been injured, not to mention that you were also had a procedure done that helped your health, but I was not expecting this. Wright chimed in, stating, yeah, Patches is kind of a emergency resort, just in case of any serious organ damage and such, but it is limited what it can replace. As Recovery Girl is just looking at this and honestly, after the job's done, Recovery Girl checks it, finding that the fabric still seems to feel as well as the same warmth as skin, and All Might confirms it, he can feel it. Finding it pretty fascinating. With Midnight stating, now that's a handy teddy bear. With this, they do end the school day. As we now end this part of the What If right here. I do hope you have enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you're properly updated for all future videos and such. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later.